Our journey to Japan actually began moments after this very photograph was taken. This is me on the shore of the Indian Ocean in Mozambique, Africa. For the longest time, Jessica and I thought that we would end up here, planting churches and doing discipleship. But after going there, we realized that we were more suited and better equipped, and we had a greater love for Asia. Jessica and I lived in Busan, South Korea as English teachers for 4.5 years. And at that time, we were also very involved with the church. We really saw it grow from being a small group of people from many different nations coming together every Sunday into a very solid group of Christians gathering together. That's a picture of what we'd like to see happen in Japan with churches. Churches that start small, but that are solidified over time and end up being mature expressions of God's kingdom. God used that time to instill in us a love for Asia, a love for the people of Asia, and particularly a love for Japan.
In the spring of 2015, we took a trip to Japan and toured a couple of cities with the goal of determining exactly in Japan where God was leading us to. We were able to visit a Shinto temple, and while we were there, we saw 4 high school girls walking into the temple, and it was very strange because we saw them reading the directions on how to wash their hands and drink the holy water. They were working on a school project, so for the first time ever, they decided to come to the temple and pray. These girls were just infatuated with Lily and could not stop giggling and looking at her. They each passed her around and just were so excited to hold this little Western baby, and it gave us an opportunity to allow some of the awkward walls of culture to just kind of break down. I asked the missionary if it would be culturally okay if I had him translate, and I asked them if I could pray for them to my God, whom I know would be listening. In my prayer, I was able to share the gospel in hopes that these girls would someday, their eyes would be unveiled and that they would see Christ and that they would come to know Him. It was just amazing to be face to face with young girls, lost girls, and to be able to share Christ's love for them and to be able to share the gospel. It was unbelievable. Patrick and I have a desire to get back to Japan and to be able to share Christ and pray with more girls just like those.
One of the special things we got to do when we were in Japan was meet Takuma. Takuma doesn't come from a Christian home, and he came to faith through an interaction with Brian, a Pioneers worker in Fukuoka. They were in a jogging club together. One day, Takuma wasn't feeling well, so they simply walked around the track for a few hours. They talked about Jesus, and eventually that led to Takuma coming to know Him as a Savior. This is a perfect example of what we would like to do when we're there. Meet people where they're at, not at their work, not in their home, but in those places where they go to have fun or to relax or just to be themselves. Simply put, what we want to do in Japan is tell people about the love of Jesus, help plant new churches, and help bring new believers into a mature walk with Christ. We're looking for people that will partner with us, not just by putting our prayer card on the refrigerator and praying for us occasionally, and not just for people that will throw us money. We want people that will partner with us through serious prayer, walking alongside us, journeying with us.